Hello, everyone. This is Loretta Sernowski with Remax Fine Properties, your Canadian realtor in Arizona. Welcome to another episode of Living in Arizona. And today we're talking about a very timely subject with what's going on in the economy. We have Derek. He is the founder of Credit Absolute. Welcome, Derek.
Oh, thank you so much.
So first of all, let's start with who you are and how you got into the world that you're in.
Well, my name is Derek Vogel again. I'm from Ohio originally, so a Midwest boy. Moved out to Arizona 20 years ago. And I was in the mortgage space for a long time, for a little over 10 years, and saw a lot of credit challenges when I was in mortgages, and had an opportunity to work with some credit repair companies back then where they did not do what a lot of new businesses do today in the space. Just because we didn't have the technology, it was very like, hey, give us all your information. Here's a book, write your own letters. And meaning I got into the credit repair space because I wanted to help people with credit challenges where I saw there was no accountability. And so after I got out of the mortgage space, because I was just tired of working the corporate life, I had a son in 2007 who pushed me to kind of start my own company. So I had flexibility with him. And I've owned Credit Absolute for 14 years. And so just being able to do it different than like, hey, just pay us money and your credit will be fixed. I'm a performance-based credit repair company. And I like just to teach people education, how credit actually works, how to build credit, how it, just little things like paying your credit card at the right time. And meaning, some people just think paying their bill on the due date is the right thing to do. Obviously, that's the right thing. But I'm just saying, if you pay it on a couple of days before the statement date, now you're beating what we call the cycle. And where the balance reports to the credit bureaus on the statement date, not the due date. And most people don't know that. So just like little things like that make such a massive impact on somebody's score.
Sure. Okay. I want to go back to the credit card thing because I think, most people don't, like you said, they don't understand how that affects their credit. So let's say I have a credit card and through the month I put $3,000. It has a max of $3,500. Is it better to pay it all off? When should I be leaving a balance? How much does it affect my credit if I do the things that you're going to tell me?
Sure, that's a great question. So credit cards are 30% of the credit score.
Okay.
So sometimes people have seen charts just in general, like payment history is number one, 35%. Credit cards are 30%. Age of credit's 15, and then proper mix is 10, and then new credit is 10%. But what does that percent mean to anybody? Most people have no idea. And so when you look at a credit score, the lowest score you can get is 300. The highest credit score you can get is 850 and there's like 77 different scoring models. So sometimes people get confused by that. But just in general terms, this helps increase credit scores across all scoring models. Okay. So back to the credit card specifically, though, at 30%, it's 30% of the difference. Remember, lowest is 300, highest is 850, so that's 550 points. So now you take 30% of 550 points, which is 165 points. So credit cards make up 165 points of the 550, the total score.
Okay.
So now, why that's important to understand that? Because if somebody maxes out a credit card, then it can impact someone's score, maybe not the full 165 points, but 100 plus, meaning your score could go from a 720 down to a 620 just because you maxed out a credit card. I see it happen all the time. And sometimes, clients are like, Derek, I have money, I pay my bills. And then sometimes people that struggle a little bit more and they can still pay their bills, but they're just not paying them at the right time, meaning this, like, so let's say we keep it very simple. Your due date's the 15th of every month. And If you don't pay it by the due date, you get a late fee, right? Not a 30-day late. Sometimes people think you actually get a 30-day late when you go one day past, and you don't. You just get a late fee. But then let's say the statement date. Now, this is different than the due date, and this is so critical. The statement date could be, let's say, the 5th of the month. Okay. And let's say you have maxed out your credit card of 3,000. We use the example $3,000 limit, right? You maxed it out. And in your mind, you're like, I'm going to pay it off on the 14th, the day before the 15th, the due date, right? Well, great, you paid it off. But the issue is on the 5th statement date, they already reported the balance maxed out to the credit bureaus, which plummets your credit scores, even though in your mind you paid it off. And so all we do is shift people's thinking now and to teach them to pay their credit card 2 or 3 days before the statement date, so that when they pay the credit card down now, it will reflect the low balance or a lower balance. Even if they pay the minimum payment, we want to make sure that that balance updates and reflects the lower balance. And so a lot of people believe 30% is the sweet spot. It's garbage. It's not good at all. Anything over 50% is detrimental. If you want to have a 780 credit score or higher, 7% utilization is the key. So you want to keep your balances under 7%.
7%.
7%
Of the total?
of the individual credit card. And then if you're looking at total, maybe you have 3 credit cards with 3,000 each, that means you have total 9,000, right? They do look at total credit card utilization, but it's still really important to make sure 7% is kind of the key across the board.
What about is this a myth about always carrying a balance and not
Yep.
having a zero?
So you want to keep a small balance on one credit card. You don't have to keep balances on all credit cards. For whatever reason, there's an algorithm that has, when you pay off all your credit cards, your scores can drop. Now, I will say this is more for people that are rebuilding credit, not seasoned credit card, or let's say good credit borrowers. Someone with 720, 740, 760 or higher. It doesn't matter if you have a zero balance on your credit card. I mean, it might fluctuate a few points, but the reason we shared that is that when I was doing what's called rescores in the mortgage business, we would run people's credit reports and say, hey, make sure you keep about 10, $15 balance on the card. And they would pay it off in their mind thinking it was a good thing, but their scores would drop 20 or 30 points just because they paid. It was silly. So it just depends on the situation. But again, that's something at Credit Absolute where my team and myself are looking for what is the individual's scenario and what are their goals so that we can help execute the shortest time frame to get them qualified. If it's buying a home, buying a car. I'm big on business credit and funding. So I like to work with business owners or investors and things of that nature. So we're just really depends on the individual.
Okay. So let's say my credit score is like 625 and I want to buy a house this year.
Okay.
Is that possible to jump my credit score up to where it should be? What is that score, and what's the best way for me to get there in the least amount of time?
Again, that's a really broad question because so many people have different issues going on in their life. And so on average, when we look at somebody's credit report, though, we're helping them boost credit scores from 40 points minimum up to 100 points in 30 to 90 days. The reason that we're able to do that is something very unique at Credit Absolute is we provide what's called a credit action plan. It's a roadmap. And we're telling people like, look, you need to complete this journey. One, XYZ, maybe it's 5 different things. Opening a credit card. Biggest thing is nobody budgets. Nobody even knows how to budget. So we teach people how to not only create savings, but then we show them to take that savings to pay down, let's say, debt that might be impacting their scores. And so it's also having the proper mix of credit, though. Maybe they only have 1 or 2 trade lines and they need 3 to 5 trade lines. And so we'll help them get initial data, because credit reports are all data based. And so maybe we help people that are paying rent. We got rental reporting. That can boost scores sometimes 50 to 100 points because they get credit for paying a rental payment like a mortgage payment. It could be maybe they need an installment loan. There's that what they call credit builder type of loans, where it's just because they don't have enough payment history. And payment history is 35% of the credit score, which is a huge chunk. So again, we're just looking at those unique, I would say, just factors, and then customizing that credit action plan to each individual client.
Okay, so again, let's say I want to buy a house. My credit's not, my realtor says it's, or my lender says my credit's not good enough. You can help me. So what does that look like as far as me signing up to be your client?
Sure. So when somebody comes to us, that if it's coming directly from a website or a referral partner, they would submit the lead. The client would get a welcome email to schedule a free consultation. We do a 30-minute credit analysis. They do have to pay for their own credit monitoring site. It's usually $25-$30 a month, but it's just a requirement, because if we can't see the credit report, we can't help them. And more importantly, we want the client to be able to look at their own credit report. And we can't use free ones like Credit Karma and some of the other ones that are just garbage. It has to be a 3-bureau report. And the reason is because we want to see if there's any inaccuracies across all of the credit bureaus, which is Experian, Equifax, TransUnion, for who those are listening, right? And so when we go through the credit analysis with them, we're finding out their time frame. What credit score do they need? Do they need a 620? Do they need a 640? Do they need a 700 plus? Because, right, they're buying, let's say maybe they're buying a jumbo size loan, and right, they need a 700 plus. And then once we identify their goals, then we can say, okay, here's what we can work on. If they have collections, late payments, bankruptcy, student loan issues, debt settlement, whatever it may be, things that we see on a daily basis, then we would go over that. Our pricing's on our website for transparency. So we have a lifetime membership. So when somebody signs up, we don't charge monthly fees. And if we get something deleted for a client, we charge them for the deletion. If we don't get anything deleted, we don't charge them anything.
So can you discuss the price, or would you rather have people go to your website?
No, it's on my website for transparency. It's $299 for a single person, $499 for a couple. So there's a $100 discount. We honor all veterans, teachers, nurses, first responders. So anybody in that space, we give a 25% discount. For deletions, so we charge $50 for late payment corrections, $125 for collections charge-offs, and then $300 for like repossessions, bankruptcies, foreclosures, big ticket items, big stuff. But they only pay if we get it deleted.
Okay.
Yeah.
You mentioned a lifetime membership or subscription. So what does that look like?
Well, so included with our membership is that they get monthly coaching, they get check-ins, they get a credit action plan, they get follow-up accountability partners to go through and make sure they're doing the things required to help them reach their goal. If they don't, and that monthly review that we do with them every single month, we're just going to say, look, until you do this, you can't move on to journey 2. Journey 2 would be that next stage of getting their scores to that next premium level. It's just, sometimes you meet them where they're at, and it's okay. Not everybody can move as fast as everybody. So you just have to be patient and give them something that's attainable and easy to do.
Sure. You talked about the credit companies and that you have to sign up for a credit check company, or Experian, whatever. Which one would you recommend? I don't know if you could say that. And
of course, yeah, they're on my website too. So when somebody does that first initial free analysis, we send them a welcome email with a link, and we use Identity IQ. I like to use them because I actually know the owners. I met them years ago in Vegas at a credit convention where we do certifications and trainings. And I not only do I like working with people that I know, like, and trust, but I also like working with the software that's easy and user friendly for our clients. Like it doesn't, because there's a lot of different sites out there that you like click on one page and you only see one bureau versus being able to see all three bureaus side by side. It
And
makes
sorry,
it
which one did
easier.
you say that is, Derek, that you recommended?
Identity IQ. And if you use the link on my site, you will get a discount. If you go to them directly, it's usually a little bit more.
I don't think I've ever heard of that. Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Now,
they're pretty amazing.
when you want to get your credit back on track, or say you have it on track, would you recommend that people keep a subscription to a credit place all the time, or just
I
when they're
mean,
trying to credit?
I personally believe they should because 1 out of 4 children have identity theft before the age of 18. Identity
Wow.
theft is getting worse and worse, especially with the technology that we have today. And there are a lot of free options too with like your bank or credit cards or something, but you're not getting as much protection as you would. And if you're comfortable spending 20 $25 a month, Identity IQ is amazing, and they provide all types of protections, I should say.
Okay. So if I'm a youngster, young adults, first-time borrowers that don't have any credit, what's the steps in them to, the smartest way to begin building credit, or people new to the country, I guess, too?
Well, the first thing, I mean, so when children are 16 years old, you can add them to your credit cards. That's what I did with my boys. I have 4 boys, 3 teenagers, and a young one, but we add them to our credit cards because they get all of our credit history, all of our
Okay.
payment history. And then my son, he signed up for his own Capital One card, just a $300 limit, but it also just teaches him how to use the card, how to pay the card, and now he's building his own credit. And it's a good lesson for children at a young age to understand how to manage credit properly so that they don't go out and spend money they don't have.
Uh-huh. And do you also help people in your coaching with saving?
Yeah, we have a really cool budgeting tool that we offer as well on our website too. We have a 50% discount. It's called Monarch, but I've personally found it to be the most, uh, I would say, transparent because you can sync even crypto with it. You can sync your stocks, like
Wow.
Fidelity, and like so. It really just really shows you um, your weak links. It shows you spending habits. It shows you, like, let's say we find a lot of people have like multiple subscriptions, Netflix,
Yeah.
HBO, that, and it's like, do you really need all those movie channels? Like, when you're trying to get out of debt, you have to be able to choose a different lifestyle, and sometimes that's hard. But if you want to be debt free and not a slave, right, to debt, there's some hard choices that have to happen sometimes. But at least we are doing our best on our end to give them tools that are easy to use and easy to manage.
You know what I find is the most, probably the biggest waste of money is like when you're on Facebook and there's this app that, whatever, to help you sleep or something or whatever, and then you forgot your logins, you can't get in, or it's in a different language, and you forgot if you was Shop or PayPal or Apple Pay or
Yeah,
whatever.
I don't know. I see people buying stuff on TikTok all the time now. My son, I'm like, what are you buying on TikTok? Like, but anyways,
Yeah, TikTok, Facebook. I mean, yeah,
yeah,
my girlfriend bought the most amazing hair dryer from TikTok.
that's funny.
It happens, like, I just think a lot of people still go to the mall and stuff, but if you're busy or whatever, it's just so much like, what did people do before Amazon? You know what I mean? We probably saved a ton of money.
No, that was when they had the late night shows, the 1-800 on
Oh, the
9.
shopping channel.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
for sure. The bad golfers probably spent a ton of money buying
yeah.
the correct swing. So, can you share with us maybe your most rewarding success story?
Yeah,
Feeling.
I have a few of them on the business credit side of things. Because, like I said, I really have a passion of helping business owners and realtors and investors. But we come in from a space of like mentorship, and some businesses just don't know what they don't know, and we'll have to take them through a journey. But we helped a roofing company get between five and $600,000 in a span of 3 to 4 months. But it was like to consolidate, pay off, free up cash flow, consolidate, make some adjustments for the taxes, get the IRS cleaned up and stuff of that nature. And then after all of that work, we're able to get them to the access to $1 million line of credit, which is at prime plus 0.95, which is about 7%. And so when you can help a business just go through such a long journey to get a what we call a long-term loan with low interest rates and terms, and now it just creates that relief to allow them to not only have working capital, but no pressure, and hire and market and do the things that they need to do to grow and expand. And then on the real estate side, I had a woman that came to me. She was originally from Africa, broken English, but she was amazing. But she didn't trust us 100%. But she was referred to us by a realtor, and she was very guarded. And so with that, I had to speak to her for over a couple of weeks because she had a lot of debt, like $80,000 in debt. And I said, look, we can fix a few things on here, but I go, at the same time, if you want to buy a house, you're never going to buy a house unless you take care of this debt. And so how do we want to talk about settling it, consolidating it, talk to our attorney? Well, lo and behold, she has been a really good saver, and she had a bunch of money in savings. And I just let her know that money in savings means absolutely nothing if she doesn't pay the debt she owes. It was being accountable, right, for the debt that she let go delinquent. And she had some things go on like people do in life, and that's okay. But the cool thing is we got it to where she was able to settle, I think, for like 30 grand. She paid off all her debt. Within 6 months, she bought a home. It was amazing. It was fantastic. And she called, and we don't do debt settlement. We just give people a script and a template on what to say, what to do, what to ask for. She did it all with our guidance. But the point is if she can do it, anybody can do it, because, right, the language barrier, things of that nature. And I think it's just one of the greatest testaments to what we try to help people do. But more importantly, like, she has her dream home now. And I just love, that made me so happy that she just committed and did it.
Do you have any kind of programs like for us realtors with our clients, like a partnership that?
Yeah, I have an amazing affiliate program. It's free, doesn't cost any money. Our affiliate program actually has links that track. So when you submit a client, we track, we send you updates. We can send you the credit action plan too, so you can hold the clients accountable. So our credit action plan is very cool and unique, where we do a scan of their credit report, and it literally tells them exactly what to pay, what to do, what to open. Just so it's like, there's no thinking. It's just, are you coachable? And then you have access to a portal to log in for updates. You can see where the client's at. We send you monthly progress reports. And so we just want you to be involved, because the faster we can help the client get to their goals, the faster you guys can close more loans.
And do you partner with lenders as well?
I do. Yeah, I'm nationwide as well. So I can help in any state. And like I said, my primary, I love working with business owners too. So like, if you're looking for funding, or, investors are looking for commercial lending, we do DSCR loans for multi-units. So if you have 4 units, 6 units, 8 units, we can help lend and get funding for that. We do SBA acquisitions. We do term loans, lines of credit, business credit card stacking. And that's actually a really cool one. If you're a business owner, only open an LLC, 1 day old, as long as you have a 700 plus credit score, we can get anywhere probably between $10,000 and $150,000 in business credit cards at a 0% interest for 12 to 18 months on average. And it does not report to your personal credit. That's why I love business credit, business owners, because we can get loans that don't report to the personal credit, which then helps the borrower. If they want to buy a house or do investments, it doesn't show up. That DTI doesn't show up on their personal credit, which is really cool.
So if every listener remembered one credit lesson for today, what should it be?
Get clarity on your budget. Because if you don't know how to budget your money, you don't know how to save your money. And so you won't know how to invest your money. And if you can't budget, you can't have good credit.
Yeah.
And so budgeting to me is critical.
And what should someone do this week if they want to take control of their credit story?
Call Credit Absolute.
And how do they?
We'll guide them.
We are gonna, for those listening and watching, we're gonna post your information, but also can you just tell us your phone number and where your social media handles or how to get in touch with you?
Yeah, sure. So everything is Credit Absolute, and I'm on TikTok, LinkedIn, YouTube. I have a lot of coaching videos on YouTube, free coaching videos, by the way, on how to get an 850 credit score. So if you ever want to watch that coaching, it's a playlist, but it has literally the 5 areas of credit. So that's actually a really great one. But of course, Facebook, Instagram, all those. And then if you want to call us, our direct line is 480-906-3777. And the website is just creditabsolute.com.
Great.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much for today. It was super, super informative for me. So
I love doing this. And, if somebody is able to make one small change in their credit and in their financial, future with their family and their children, I mean, that's what's most important to me. So,
Derek, what city are you based out
of? We're in Mesa, Gilbert.
Mesa, Gilbert?
Yeah, in Arizona. Yeah.
Yeah. Do most of your meetings with your clients, are they in person or online or Zoom or?
Just over the phone.
Okay.
They just need to be in front of a computer, super simple. And then we go through their credit report with them visually. So we have access to their credit report. And then, it's just, we keep it super simple. Nobody has to drive anywhere, waste any money on gas.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So we'll save money. Yeah. So we save people money that way too.
That's great. Well, maybe you and I could connect later this week. I'd love to have a chat with you about some other stuff.
Absolutely. That would be amazing. That you can call me anytime. And thank you for this opportunity to speak to your audience and, partners and everything. Like I said, if anybody has any questions, feel free to reach out. My email is really easy too. It's dvogel@creditabsolute.com.
Super.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, and enjoy the rest of your day.
You too. Thank you so much. Bye.